everybody, Low Carb Keith here. You know, I've been eating low carb for over 6 years, and I'm still discovering new foods that I can eat on a low carb eating plan. I had a friend of mine email me the other day and said, I saw your video about potatoes and replacement for potatoes. He said, have you tried radishes? And I was like, radishes? Never even thought of that. So sure enough, I did a little research and I discovered that radishes are a great substitute for potatoes if you're eating low carb. And a half a cup of radishes only has 2 net carbs in it. So I decided that I would cook some radishes. And I discovered there's 2 ways of doing it, 2 main ways of doing it. One is you can fry them in the skillet, and the other is you can bake them in the oven. And what happens with the radish, apparently, is after they are cooked, they lose some of that distinct radish bite that kind of gives it some tanginess. And it kind of mellows that flavor out some. And supposedly, they're supposed to have the texture of like roasted potatoes or fried potatoes. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to cook some radishes. And I'm going to both roast them in the oven and cook them in a skillet. So let me show you what we're going to do and how we're going to prepare them. All right, so what I did, as you can tell, is I took a couple of bunches of radishes and I trimmed the ends of them. Okay, just cut well, wash them first, then I trimmed the ends, and then I cut them either, depending on the size of the radish, either in quarters or in halves. So I've got this bowl of just regular old, I think they're called cherry bell radishes. So what we're going to do is we're going to put some olive oil on there. Just kind of get it to where we can have a good, coating of olive oil. And we're going to add some salt and pepper. And we're going to add, just for a little bit of flavor, a little bit of garlic powder. Just a little bit, not much. There we go. Now, we're just going to mix them up really, really well. Let me get a spoon. You want to make sure that the radishes are really coated really well. And just get it mixed up really good. Now I have preheated the oven to 400 degrees, and these are going to go on my baking dish, which I'll show you in just a minute. But let's, so those are good and coated. So let me get my baking dish, which I've already sprayed with a little baking spray. And we're going to put these on here. I'm going to save some because I'm going to fry some up. Okay, and they say to spread them out, okay, to where you have some room, and some of them you might want to turn over to where they're more flat on the bottom here. Okay, and we're going to put this in the oven for about 20 minutes, 15 to 20 minutes, and it will go in the oven, and we'll just keep an eye on them and check on them. So let's go ahead and do that. We'll put those in the oven, and then we'll start the ones for the skillet. Okay, so we've got those in the oven. We're going to give them about 15 to 20 minutes, and let's go ahead and turn on our oven top to about medium heat. I'm going to put a little bit of olive oil in the bottom of it. Not a lot, just a little bit. I'm about out. That's okay. You could use butter if you wanted to as well for this. And we're going to put these in the skillet. And we're going to fry these up just like fried potatoes. So we'll cook, I think they cook for about 8 to 10 minutes, something like that, and we'll see how they do. So my radishes have been cooking in the skillet for probably about 12 minutes or so, and they really look roasted. They look like roasted potatoes. Let me show you. Okay, see, look, they look like roasted potatoes. Really, really roasty. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take them out. I'm going to put them on a, let them drain a little bit, because there's a little bit of grease that from the butter and the oil that I put in there, and also the water that was released from cooking the radishes. And we'll let them cool off just a little bit, and then we'll give them a taste. You can kind of tell when these are done if they're tender, kind of like when you're cooking potatoes. So look at those. Look at those radishes. Isn't that something? I'm anxious to get the ones out of the oven to see how they turn out as well. So, and my radishes that I baked in the oven for about 15 minutes, I just checked them and they seem to be very, very tender. So I'm going to take those out, and we'll see how they look. All right, there they are, and we will compare both in the look and in the taste of them. All right, so these radishes just came out of the oven, so they're going to be hot. So let me let them cool off just a little bit. There's not as much color on these as there is on the fried ones. Obviously, there would be more color on the fried ones, but color doesn't really matter. It's the taste that matters. So we're going to take a taste of both of them and see which one we like better. So first up, I'm going to try the ones that we fried, the ones that are kind of brown and crispy looking. I'm going to try one. Okay, as far as the texture goes, it's still, I mean, it could be a little more tender, but it's pretty tender. And the smaller ones are more tender. Tastes good. It's kind of plain, you know. I guess it's kind of like if you were to eat a potato. Potatoes always taste better with something on them. These would probably be the same. Maybe some cheese, sour cream, something like that. But they're good. They kind of have the same mouthfeel as potatoes. So let's try the baked ones. I'm going to get one. Oh, it is much more tender. It's not as brown, but as far as the fork going on it, it's much more tender. So let's see how it tastes. That is very, very good. It's really close to how you would expect a baked potato to taste. It's it's soft on the inside, like a chip or a fry would be if you baked it. Much more of that tanginess that you get from a radish is gone with this one. We still had a little bit of tanginess in the fried ones. This the tanginess, the kind of hard edge of a taste that a radish has, is pretty well gone. And this feels like a potato in your mouth. Those are really good. You don't really need anything on these. I mean, you know, it's pretty amazing how good these taste. Like I said, I baked these at 400 degrees for about 15 minutes. I could have gone maybe a little longer, maybe 20 minutes or so. Coated them in oil, put some salt and pepper on it, a little bit of garlic powder, and that's all I did. I spread them out on a baking sheet and cooked them. So if you're looking for a new alternative, a new low-carb alternative to potatoes, then I think I have discovered my new dish, radishes. Who'd have thunk it? Really good. Surprisingly good. All right, folks, thanks for watching. I hope you get a chance to try this at home. Radishes aren't really expensive. They're readily available, and this was an easy and simple recipe to make. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you again next time.